This is The Process Shot. I'm Michael. I'm stuck in a haunted movie theater, and I've seen Uptown, the way God intended. It's an experimental-ish short film from 2021, directed by KarynRose Bruyning, whose name I've likely just messed up. Anyways, the short itself has a bit of a narrative going on, following a few hours in a man's life as he paces through New York City, his mind racing with thoughts of what he's doing with his time, where he thinks he's going, and just as importantly, where he's actually been. The other half of the film is more poetic, almost as if to illustrate his stream of consciousness by presenting his thoughts and encounters in a near ethereal, almost dreamlike manner. Maybe even going as far as to explore the city not so much as its people see it, but as they live and experience it, if that makes sense. The short as a whole is sometimes a bit confusing, since it drops you into the action right away with no context at all. The story itself is also presented in an unconventional manner, focusing on the unnamed lead but never really introducing him. When I say the story follows him, it's more of a literal following, almost like a documentary, with a few moments that may have well been improvised or is actual candid footage. The majority of character development is shared through monologue and dialogue, delivered by disembodied voices that seem like drifting thoughts but could easily fit in anywhere, since the film seems to put more importance on what exactly is being said rather than when or where. It does bring in the issue that the audio and visuals are kind of separated, as if they were two different layers telling two different stories. There is one scene in the later third of the film which does have synchronous audio, but the issue I have there is that it feels out of place with the rest of the narrative, maybe thematically linked but not entirely important to the main character's story. Overall, I feel like the intention was to present the story through these connections, but it comes at a bit of a cost to the actual story being shared, which ultimately comes through almost too vaguely to be satisfying. When it comes to the technical elements, cinematography is down to earth and on the same level as its characters, with more than enough variety to keep things interesting, but it still feels detached from what is going on because of the lack of an explicit narrative. The audio is, again, more literally detached, and is also mixed a bit unevenly, which not only makes you have to split your attention, but almost strain to hear what is being said underneath another layer of music, which is in itself a genuinely great jazz score. Even if you have trouble with the rest of the movie, the music is worth sitting through. I mean, I wouldn't write off the rest of the short, but it's still a bit difficult to really take in as the filmmakers intended. Either you'll be overwhelmed by everything going on, or you'll be underwhelmed by how little of it actually comes together. Uptown, the way God intended. KarynRose Bruyning, 2021. 2.5 stars. I'd say that if you want a good jazz soundtrack for your morning, it's worth watching. Just be aware that it's kind of abstract. Among the other shorts from 2021, I'd rate it between In Place of Monuments and Golden Age Karate. That's it for this review. If you liked it, leave a like. If you have something to add, leave a comment. Subscribe to the channel for more reviews. Come to think of it, In Place of Monuments is kind of similar to this, in terms of separating what we see and what we hear. I wonder if the filmmakers knew each other.